Benny Kessler filed this following report. A land squabble on the Bishop Indian Reservation produced a protest Monday and claims that the tribal council has taken over land to expand the Paiute Palace Casino and build a motel. Rick Napoli said his family holds a land assignment where the tribe wants to take over. He said his aunt, Janice Geraldine Pasqua, holds Block 3, lots 6 and 7. Napoli said the tribal council has denied this assignment and, quote, want to claim it for the casino expansion, end quote. Napoli also said that last July, tribal members voted down the idea of expanding the casino. Then in March of this year, he said, the tribal council, quote, decided to take charge of our land assignment, end quote. He said the council sent a letter to his brothers ordering livestock off the property for the building of a fence. Now, Napoli said that's why his family carried out a protest Monday. He also said the tribal police officer handed his family members citations for trespass. They have a court date June 17th. Napoli said his family, quote, has a preponderance of evidence on the family land assignment, end quote. Napoli said this court appearance will give the family a chance to show that the land is theirs and that there was no trespass. He added that the Owens Valley Tribal Board passed resolution number 127, granting his aunt the 3 plots of land. Sierra Wave Media called or emailed all 5 of the Bishop tribal members for their response. Sierra Wave Media did speak with Vice Chairman Bill Vega, who said, quote, the tribal council needs to prepare a statement. We will convene in a week. We'd like to make a statement. I am out of town right now, end quote. Council member Monty Bengosha was vague in his response. At one point, he said the council, quote, is not trying to take their family land. He referred Sierra Wave Media to a tribal newsletter which spoke to this land issue. Now, that article says that the tribal council decided 8 years ago to maintain control of the 2 lots for, quote, economic development purposes. End quote. The article says this decision was upheld by the current tribal council after consideration of, quote, all facts and documents surrounding this issue, end quote. Now, the article says that 2 descendants of the original tribal designee of the land, quote, agreed to seek land assignments elsewhere on the reservation, end quote. Now, as for whether expansion of the Paiute Palace Casino and construction of a motel is imminent, Bengosha said that would be up to the Economic Development Corporation of the tribe. He claims the plan is under a feasibility study. The other council members, Chairman Chad Delgado, Erlene Williams, and Christopher Hohag, have not answered calls or emails from Sierra Wave Media. And now Sierra Wave Media's Rob Gill has produced a piece on the Wounded Warrior program.
So this is our summer Wounded Warrior program. It's called Operation High Altitude, and all of our guys and gals came in Sunday and Monday, and our activities really started on Tuesday, and Tuesday was a fabulous day of going out on Convict Lake, on kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, pontoon boats, and some people walked around Convict Lake, but we just got to enjoy that fabulous beauty up there. And then we came back here. They had fly fishing demonstrations and got to practice that, and then went fly fishing here in the ponds. And then the next morning we woke up and went fishing early in the morning out on Crowley Lake, caught fabulous fish. I mean, some of the fish, I couldn't fit them in the cooler. It was amazing. And we had a fish dinner that night that was yummy, and it was really cool for the kids and adults to be able to eat the fish that they'd actually caught.
I hadn't actually fished for well over 10 years, and getting a chance to get my kids out there and fish with them was just a true blessing, of course.
Catch anything?
No. Well, yeah. No. I did, but of course my daughter showed me up again.
And we have gone cycling around Shady Rest Park and around town on the beautiful bike paths. And today we went out to June Mountain, and with the Sierra Mountain Guides, everybody went rock climbing, which was just amazing to see these people. And if they didn't have legs that worked, they would get pulleyed up by the rest of the Wounded Warriors, but almost everybody could scramble up one way or the other with help, with whatever. It was an amazing day.
Let's see, we first came up for this past winter, was our first time with the Wounded Warriors at DSA's, and we went skiing during their winter Wounded Warrior Camp, where I went mono skiing, and it was incredible. And then we're here for the first time for the summer as well, which I don't know, I can't tell which one's better because they're both just amazing.
Well, for this trip, this is our first time coming up here for the Eastern Sierra folks, and it's been a total blessing. They allowed me to bring my family with me, so that way we can spend our first time together camping. And also it's an opportunity for us to try new things, or at least for myself, to be able to find out what I can still do even though I've been, succumbed to surgeries and injuries to my knees.
You know, there is a big difference between the summer program and the winter program. In the winter program, we get sponsored by the Westin in Mammoth, which is just such a fabulous red carpet treatment. But what happens is, first of all, in the winter program, everybody's just allowed to bring one guest. And so that kind of changes the demographics of who's there. And when they finish the activities of the day, we've eaten the final meal, they kind of go off into their own rooms, which are gorgeous, and isolate a little bit. And they just kind of separate themselves from everybody else and relax and enjoy the wonderful time. Here, the big difference is after the final meal, everybody gathers around a campfire over here that we'll have to show you, and they sit around, they toast marshmallows, they make s'mores, they tell stories, they play games. Everybody comes together. Being able to include the whole family in our summer program is a phenomenal experience for the families to get together and see what they can still do, to see how other people are treating their spouses.
I think the kind of bond that you share both as a couple and then as friends and family with people who are going through the same thing and have been through the same fights and gone through the same, nights of crying and nights of laughing. Yeah. It really helps you realize that you're blessed and have a lot of opportunities to, bond with others and share in that experience, both the good and the bad.
All right, so we started off with kayaking, where I got on this paddleboard that had 2 outriggers and a wheelchair mounted on the center, and I was able to paddleboard by myself around a lake, which was awesome. I also got in a kayak with Matt, and we kayaked around as well. Yep. Then we learned how to fly fished on a lake, and then we went over to another lake and fly fished all morning on a boat, which is, I've never done that before either, so that was really fun. Mm-hmm. And then we went biking. Mm-hmm. Yep, so we did some biking and cycling. And then this morning, all day today, we've been rock climbing, which is also my first time actually on a real rock face, and that was just so liberating. It was incredible. Doing these sports, it's how do I explain it? First off, you learn that you can really do anything you want to do. Regardless of your disability or your ability level, it doesn't matter. You can climb, you can cycle, you can paddle, you can fly fish, you can ski. You can do anything you want to do because there's all these adaptive devices and these great people like Dee says out here to teach you how. Secondly, sport is a great equalizer. So I might have to do it slightly differently than Matt, but when we're on the ski slopes, I'm beating him. Or when we're on the rock face, I'm climbing right next to him. And I might be doing it a different way or using a different technique, but it's the same thing. And it's such a great equalizer that you forget that you have a disability. You forget that you're limited in any way, and you have your independence back. You realize that you are still you, and you're still doing the things that you used to do before your injury or before your disorder, and you're able to do the same stuff just a different way, and the feeling of accomplishment and happiness is exactly the same, if not a little bit more.
All right, thank you for that, Rob, and we'll have more on the Wounded Warriors in future newscasts. Well, Bennett Kessler filed this story. The Mallard ducks and their offspring, they hold a special place in the heart of Bishop people who see them try to navigate Main Street around Bishop City Park. Now this week, a mother duck and 10 babies ran into trouble with a storm drain. Lots of help came to the rescue. Now, quick work by the Bishop Police Department, Public Works, Bishop Fire, Animal Control, and the Inyo County Sheriff's Office saved 10 ducklings and their mother, Mallard. The duck and her babies were trapped in the storm runoff drains in front of Creekside Inn on Main Street. All have been rescued and turned over to Eastern Sierra Wildlife Care. Now, Cindy Kamler of Wildlife Care said that the mallard duck hatched her chicks in the vegetation near Yamatani Restaurant. Kamler said she tried to get herself and the chicks across the street, and that's when the problem started. Some of the ducklings got caught in the storm drain. Bishop Police said Pat O'Neill of the Bishop Fire Department went down into the storm drain and rounded up the little ducks. Cindy Kamler then took mom duck and babies to Wildlife Care, gave them a bath and some TLC, and then released them in a secluded area. Another happy duck story. We'll be back with more news.